All right, guys, we're here on Lost Temple, HuK versus QXC. And Sean, we haven't really casted too many PVTs
Mhm.
here, especially on Lost Temple. So what do you know about PVT on Lost Temple?
Well, first of all, I think the most significant factor about this match is the two players' personalities. I know that they know each other reasonably well. HuK really loves Void Rays. He's been getting Void Rays in almost every single matchup, just as a sort of base unit. So Lost Temple will be nice in that regard because a lot of the positions are close, and that cliff is just so big that there's so many angles to attack against. And we do have QXC spawning on the left as the purple Terran and HuK in the right as the green Protoss. But unfortunately for HuK, Void Ray's range literally like an hour ago was dropped from 7 to 6. So that means that Void Rays aren't nearly going to be as good against Marines and bunkers or against turrets, especially.
Yeah, but this is actually not being played on patch 13. This is on patch 2.1 for everyone watching. We did record this a little bit before what you're actually watching on it right now, so remember that. We do see HuK placing a pylon down right
Oh,
next,
try to be clairvoyant.
right down to his right down next to his Nexus. Wow. He is going to be expecting Reapers from QXC, and QXC is opting to build his supply depot in between his gas and his command center. I've never really seen a supply depot there, but it shouldn't matter too much as you can burrow and unburrow, not burrow and unburrow, but move those
That's what I
depots
felt.
up and down.
Yeah, I don't mind burrowing. You know, as a Zerg player from StarCraft 1, I love using the word burrow. I love that every race has some sort of burrowable unit, and there we see the supply depot is hiding away down there. I like this option, building that supply depot ultra close, maximizes mining time for the SCVs, and thanks to burrow, you can always continue mining gas uninterrupted. So the barracks is going down. QXC, I suppose a few patches ago it was, QXC loves being aggressive with this very first Marauder because the concussive shell upgrade can be researched so easily around 50 energy, but we've seen a lot of Terrans as of late switch more to a Marine-heavy type force, or even this slightly more unorthodox one barracks, one factory, one starport style, where they get a lot of Marines, tanks, and Banshees, and they push very early on.
We do see HuK getting that gateway as well as his gas down. Looks like he gated on 13 and gassed on 14, throwing down that other pylon. Probably going to be seeing him tech as he has gotten gas quite early. Over in QXC's base, we do have that refinery down as well as that Rax. He's going to be opting to build a Marine there, probably to get rid of that probe there in his base, and he is also researching the orbital command. So pretty standard stuff right now from both of these players.
Oh, but HuK just did something that blows my mind. He's getting his second gas before his cybernetics core has even been started. That is an incredibly early gas. I mean, I've heard some players do this, get a double early gas because it's so easy to down the money on sentries. Very rarely can you be in a situation where you can burn your gas early with any of the races, with the exception of Protoss being able to build those sentries. However, knowing HuK, I wouldn't be surprised if he was doing something like going for some sort of fast Dark Templar or stockpiling gas for his ever favorite unit, the Void Ray.
All right, going back in the QXC's base, he does have his factory going down. Still not getting a tech lab or a reactor on that Rax and opting to continuing to build Marines. He is scouting around with this SCV, wary of any proxy pylons there, thinking that possibly we do have HuK maybe going to be warp gating anything in late game, but he has just gotten his cybernetics core down and immediately begins researching warp gate, but opts to chrono boost the stalker instead of the warp gate resource, probably to get rid of that SCV there as he's whacking away on the pylon.
Yeah, and we do see there's that pylon that's built at the left. Not only is this nice just to do a little bit of spotting by that shrubbery, but also it opens up the possibility of being able to get stargates there, but hidden. And we do see that there's a sentry coming out right now as well. God, I just really want to see what tech HuK is going to get, because again, it's so unusual to get that early gas. And there it is. There's a Twilight Council, so probably some kind of Dark Templar tech coming up, because the building, the Dark Shrine, does take 250 gas. And look at QXC getting a little overeager with the aggression, building a bunker there outside the front, but a single stalker completely shuts this down. But nice creativity coming out of QXC.
He is going to be retreating those two Marines, joining two more comrades. Looks like they're going to chase away that Stalker there in the middle of the map. Maybe not, as they're actually forced to retreat there with a little bit of an aggression from that Stalker. He's actually microing that quite well. Might actually take out a Marine or two here right now. Actually, looks like there's going to be a peace treaty there between those those couple of units. And going back into QXC's base, he does have a siege tank now building, and also a starport with no attachment right now. He's also putting down a bunker there at the front of his base, thinking that we're going to see a little bit more, or he's going to see a little bit more aggression from HuK.
And again, QXC doing that style that we just got done talking about. He's going Marine, tank, and it looks like he's getting a Viking early, which Is a little bit of an unusual early choice. I'm very curious why he's doing that. Perhaps just setting himself up to get some nice scouting, some nice intel. The Vikings are always good in combination with tanks because the Vikings are fast, easy to micro. You can see up ramps with them. And one thing that theoretically would be nice about Qxc's play is that if he was getting that that tech lab on the starport very quickly, he could get a Raven to deal with this Dark Templar attack that's coming very, very soon. As we can see, that Dark Shrine is a little over halfway done, but unfortunately for Qxc, no detection going down yet. He's only just now getting a tech lab. So this is going to be a really close defense.
We do see HuK actually taking down these destructible rocks, opting to not take his natural expansion and probably going for this high yield. He does have a handful of units out right now. We do see a Hellion now doing a little bit of scouting for Qxc. I'm wondering why he's not using that Viking to scout there, as it would probably go a little bit easier. He does have that Dark Shrine finishing, though, for HuK, and looking for some DTs to be warped in here relatively soon.
Oh, how silly of me. At the start of the game, I was saying how much HuK loves Void Rays. And oh, isn't it interesting that HuK is getting 2 assimilators very early on. So Qxc almost certainly taking both of these things into account and just sort of blind assuming that Void Rays were coming. But there's the Hellion, gets right into the main, sees the Dark Shrine. It knows exactly what's going on. And fortunately for Qxc, he has a Raven coming out. But uh-oh, Dark Templar already in the back of the main. It has taken out 4 SCVs. There's 5, 6... Because DTs can kill in one shot, they're going to rip through a ton of SCVs. Looks like some shots are already going down on the tank and the Viking. He pulls back, and there the Raven is up now, but not before this Dark Templar is going to get a serious kill count with 10 kills in that worker line.
A little bit of a blunder there, in my opinion, on HuK's part. They're not opting to take down more SCVs and opting to get that siege tank there to only half HP. Probably could have gotten about 3 or 4 more SCVs there, as now that the SCV will probably easily just repair that siege tank. We also do see Qxc now throwing down a missile turret, and now HuK is actually not that gas heavy, as he did throw down a little bit, or it looks to be about 3 more DTs, and still has not gotten his expansion, but he did take out those rocks there at the high yield expansion closest to his base.
That's interesting to me. He's adding on 2 more gateways. He's up to 5 once those things finish. So that's a little bit of an unusual choice. More frequently, you'd want to be throwing down an expansion because the DTs have distracted your opponent. They now need detection. They need to be a little bit more passive. And as we see, Qxc is doing exactly that. Look, 2 bunkers going down, turrets. Perfect opportunity to expand. And only just now does HuK throw down that expansion. Wow, that is so late. Note High Templar tech started yet. He just has 3 gateways and is broke on money. And there's a Templar archive. So, oh my god, big attack coming in. Looks like the Dark Templar are running right by to try to pick off some of these units in the back, but a point defense drone is going to shut down a ton of the aggression because the Stalkers, all those hits get absorbed, and now they're finally managing to be starting their fire. And with that 1 sentry, he can force field the ramp, but he doesn't manage to get it off, and it looks like Qxc is going to survive relatively easily at this stage in the game.
That was quite scary for Qxc. Did not have siege mode actually completely researched there at the beginning of that tech, but now he does have it. He still has not siege mode on any of his tanks right there, with those Stalkers actually pressuring him. He did throw down that point defense drone, but it looks like, oh, and what a force field there from HuK, blocking those 2 tanks from actually going up that ramp. That Raven is quite low, but HuK cannot actually see it right now. You need to have that siege tank right there in siege mode. He could possibly do a lot more damage than he is right now. Looks like Qxc is going to be in a tight situation right here, as he only has no unit production, and there's the GG from Qxc, putting Qxc up now 1 over HuK, and we will be back with our second map, Steps of War.